Hello and welcome to our talk show Rubaroo. I am Neha Chauhan and today we are delighted to welcome Kanika Sasan ma'am, who is the founder of Adore by Kanika, a platform celebrating Indian craftsmanship on the global stage. She is also into fashion, art and also the community leadership. So today we are going to have a conversation about her journey, about Adore by Kanika and a lot more. So first of all, we welcome you ma'am.
Thank you so much.
सो मैम आज आपकी वर्कशॉप रही स्टूडेंट के साथ एक इंटरेक्टिव सेशन रहा इट वाज सच अ फन सेशन वी ऑल अटेंडेड सो हाउ वाज योर एक्सपीरियंस
I had an amazing experience working with the students at AFT because they were so keen, they were curious, they were vulnerable, they were excited, and I love that energy. I love, being in a room where people are just, you know, keen and
राइट
and curious. So it was very nice.
so being an actor artist and also a founder so it is like a multi-dimensional career path so what was the inspiration behind that you choose this specific career path
I have always been an artist at heart because I have grown up on Indian cinema. So I was always wanted to be a part of that whole process and learn how to be an actor, how does thing work? How do stories come to the theaters?
right
So it's always been a dream. But I was in Canada and I wanted to work um, with Indian craftsmen, Indian designers, and showcase their work to the world. So that allowed me to kind of tap into a business that helped me be a part of both the countries,
right
be a part of both cultures, be involved in both dynamics, and exchange, the beauty and the craftsmanship of Indian craftsmanship to Canada and the world.
okay so you might have also faced some challenges and difficulties so what was those challenges and difficulties were
Being a new business and starting my own business,
Mhm.
there's always those things that you don't know, and then you run into those things when you do it. They say that when you have a path, start, and then things will fall into place. So that's what pretty much happened. I didn't know what the logistics were. I don't know how to write the contracts, reach out to the designers. So it's very new, but I felt like I was just driven and I was passionate, so I never stopped on what I wanted to do. Like I just reached out to Masaba Gupta, who was my favorite designer at that time,
right
and I just reached out to her and I wrote her an email. I said, I want to work with you and I want to sell your garments in Canada because I feel like that people in Canada, people in the world will love it, and it deserves a global platform.
Hmm.
And that's how I started. And little did I know that I kept going and I kept working with one and the two and the three and the four and so many designers. And it was just a very collaborative energy, and it got a very good response in the world. So I was very happy.
That's amazing. And if we see about the society perception, like women in business, women in leadership role, and women being confident, it is something that society is like very patriarchal about it.
Mm.
That a woman being a businesswoman is something comparing it to the men. So, what motivate you to like keep going?
Um, like you said, I was actually born in a very traditional family,
Hmm.
and I was born in a traditional family where the roles of uh, gender roles were very strict. Men were
Hmm.
supposed to do this, women were supposed to do this, and because I grew up on that concept and that conditioning, I thought that actually worked as my fuel, because I always wondered that why are such strict stereotypes for
Hmm.
gender roles?
Right.
Like, why can't women, you know, go out at night?
Hmm.
I understand the safety, and and our parents and our families always look out for us, but there's always that thing where you wonder and you're curious, and I always tapped into that curiosity and always challenge myself to do what men can do.
Right.
And I also encourage women to do what they want to do without having the pressure of gender roles and the pressure of conditioning in society, because it's it I think it's more overrated, and it's also kind of like a bigger giant than it is. So we need to like just ease down a bit.
Right. So, such an inspiration you are. So
Thank
I just
you.
want to ask you about the fashion industry. How did you get there? And oh, is there any specific moment that decided that I wanted to go on fashion?
Fashion has always been my expression.
Hmm.
Um, when I was very young, I knew that I used colors, silhouettes, palettes to express how I felt. Like on days where I felt very vibrant and happy, I wore red. And on days where I wanted to, feel empowered, I would wear something more colorful and unique to get noticed that I have arrived. So little things I noticed, and I was like, wow, fashion can such be a beautiful tool and resource to express your personality.
And also
So,
confident
and
also.
also feel
Right.
confident, also feel like yourself. So I always used fashion as um, a way to be seen in the world, and I still do. I have my days where I want to show up in the world like I am powerful, and I'll wear something vibrant, and I'll wear a power suit, and I'll wear monotones, and I'll wear straight lines, and I know, and I'll it actually acts as an accent to what I feel and what I want to be as an impression. So fashion is actually, it's beautiful if you use it to your own advantage.
Right. So who's the biggest inspiration?
uh, my biggest inspiration is anyone and everyone who lives their life truthfully and authentically. I feel like, and you will agree, and
Right.
the audience would agree, that in a world where we are conditioned to use social media platforms, and we are so we're so inspired by people with uh, the flashes and the names and the brands, and the it actually makes the subtle art of being truthful
Hmm.
such underrated, but it's so honest, so powerful, so impactful, that anyone who is living in this life with their honest truth, whether or not society accepts it, if you're living your life truthfully, you're inspiring me.
So you also serve as the leader in community initiative. So what made you do that?
When you work or when you move halfway across the world
Hmm.
and you are made to go, or you have to be uprooted from your own country to a different country, you always find community, because community is what makes you feel aligned and grounded. When you feel lost and you feel like out of line, you always find people who you can resonate with. So community was my source of feeling grounded, aligned, and belongingness. So when community is giving me so much, why won't I want to give it back?
Right.
So I always felt like I owed it to my community.
Hmm.
I owed it to people who supported me, my South Asian community, community of my women, whether it's acting networks, whether it's networks of artists and groups. I always felt inclined towards being a part of it.
Right. And being in South Asian and in living in Canada and working in Canada, it might be you find some difficulties and also bring India and Canada together, like some kind of like a relationship, a collaboration. So how did you manage that?
Um, I was just very naturally inclined towards the history, the culture, heritage, the vibrancy, the dynamism of India. And I just felt proud and very full of how much our country has to offer. So it became second nature when I worked in companies, organizations, initiatives, platforms, stages, and I was asked to speak about India,
Hmm.
or I was asked to engage in communication conversations where India was a part of it. I spoke with so much vigor and passion that I felt that it was a part of like my journey, where I had to take a piece of my country to the globe and let people learn about it and how much we have to offer.
Right. And being an actor and artist, so how do you balance both and also not lose your creativity?
Being an actor is a, a difficult and interesting, it's a very complex job, because it's not a structured job. Like
Hmm.
I said, it's not a 9 to 5. You have to create your own work, you have to make your own opportunities. And being an artist is also kind of like a creative flow.
Hmm.
So they both work hand in hand. The more you are in tune with yourself, and the more you know what you want to do, the more you are going to be grounded, and the more you're going to surrender that it's going to happen. It doesn't work with control or pressure or stress. It works with like surrendering, ease, and letting it happen on its own, letting the journey unfold without having to panic. Because when we do panic, especially speaking for myself,
Hmm.
you lose more than you gain.
Right.
So allowing it to happen, but being open to it. When the opportunities come, being ready. And how do you be ready? You just work on yourself. You just work on your physical, mental health, your personal peace, people around you, what you consume daily. your consumption, your diet, your exercise,
Right.
your meditation, your rituals, and then allowing the universe to bring everything else to you.
Okay, so being an actor, is there any special project that is like very connected to you or relatable to you that you feel like, yeah, this is what I made for?
Um, I always feel that being an actor allows you to be in characters
Hmm.
and in stories that you're not going to live in a normal organic life. Like if I am asked to live or act as a homeless woman, I'm not going to be that in my real life. So
Hmm.
I love when I have the opportunity to play roles where they're so different from real life. Like maybe a gangster with like a gun. I would never do that in real life. So, but it also allows you to tap into their mindset.
Right.
So, my dream role or my dream job would be to play someone completely opposite or drastic to my life. Maybe like a homeless person, maybe like someone who is like a gangster, a badass person with a gun and an entourage, or like a queen that I would possibly tap into their mindset and see and feel what they would feel in that if I was to live that life. How would I feel?
Right.
And how would I speak? How would I sit? So that would be exciting for me.
Okay, like that's lovely. And India is a, like a big heritage. It has big heritage and diversity, and fashion influencing different cultures of India. And so, how do you take that as? Is in positive way or in a bad way?
Fashion influencing?
Yes.
I think fashion influencing is definitely a positive association with India.
Hmm.
We have a lot of platforms where we see fashion content, and and fashion content is very diverse in India.
Right.
I mean, we see from people who teach you how to tie saris in different ways to people how to use a scarf and make it a dress. So, I mean, because we have become such a diverse culture, we have saris and we have, kurta like suits, and we
Hmm.
have dresses and we have Lucknowis, and we have fashion from sourcing from Calcutta where we have like, that rich, what's that fabric called? I can't remember. But that drapes so differently from the bandhani of Gujarat.
Hmm.
So, Indian content, when it comes to fashion, has literally awakened a lot of people to what India has to offer. And I love that.
That's true.
And because I see content from, especially from like rural places,
Hmm.
it really makes my heart happy when I see little kids, or even when I see like men and women just use that platform to express their creativity of fashion. It really draws attention to those nook and corners of our country where there's so much talent, but it hasn't come to the forefront. So it allows the world to see it.
Yeah.
So, there was this woman who went to Cannes Film
Hmm.
Festival who used to like bead or draw or knit her own clothes,
Hmm.
and she came to Cannes, and my heart was so full to see her. I was like,
Oh yeah.
this is incredible. That
Oh right, I remember Nancy Tyagi, right?
Nancy
Yeah.
Tyagi.
Yeah.
So I was like, my heart was so full that a woman who has really put in the work is actually being recognized on a
On a,
platform like that.
right.
So I think that's content, right? So
Yeah.
content has to be given that much validation.
That's true. And you might have also heard about some kind of like a controversy that is that Western countries are adapting Indian culture roots like their fashion, their draping method, their suits and saris, but they are naming it that of their own. Like
Hmm.
they made it on them, but it
Hmm.
is our roots,
Hmm.
right? So what's your take on that?
I feel there's there is cultural appropriation
Hmm.
when it comes to fashion. I mean, a part of me feels very flattered that global audience are ready for our drapes, but a part of me also feels like there has to be that recognition
Right.
that it comes from India. And because it is our tradition, our roots, our culture, it has to be recognized that this is the source. I mean, it blows my mind what the world can do with Indian fabrics and Indian drapes, but it has to be done with dignity, respect that our culture deserves. Like I remember a couple of years back, there was a fashion show. I think it was a brand that I don't remember that
Hmm.
did that wore on the runway a turban as an accessory,
Hmm.
and there was a lot of controversy around it because in Sikhism, turban is not an accessory.
Right.
It's
It's their pride.
It's our pride. It's our. It's not something that we wear for fashion.
Right.
It's a part of our existence, identity. So that has to be notified. That has to be done with a lot of sensitivity and respect, because it's not something that we are exchanging for fashion. It's something that we are inheriting in our culture, and it has to be done with respect and dignity. So, I mean, it's amazing that the world is ready for Indian fashion, but are you ready to also
Give credits to
give
their.
credits and give recognition where it's
Right.
required? So that's a part.
And you also work closely with the women through your community initiative. So, is there any movement that is like become very meaningful and very transformative for you?
A moment.
Yeah.
Uh,
Maybe a conversation or movement that you talk, maybe know their journey and you that hit you, that oh my god, that this happened to you and you're still doing that this much, and inspiration for something like that.
I feel like my connection to women
Hmm.
is what I really derive everything else from,
Hmm.
because I my purpose and my goal is to empower women of all ages, all backgrounds, all ethnicities. I feel like my engagement with each woman that I speak with is the source and root of my own fuel. Like, women are such powerful entities, and sometimes they forget. And in conversations where they recognize and they remind themselves of their power, I feel incredible. Like, I feel larger than life. And where they diminish their power and they're like, oh, we don't know what to do, or we don't have much choice and we don't have much, I want to take that moment and remind them that you don't know, girl. Like, there's so much the world has to offer, and just tap into that, your own divine feminine power, and then speak from that place, and you'll know how things shift. So that, in every woman, I see that in every woman, and that's a place I resonate with.
Amazing. Since
Thank you.
and then I'm loving this conversation because talking with a confident and powerful woman, you feel like yeah, you can see yourself in that person,
Yes,
right?
absolutely. Likewise.
Yes, it's lovely. So, and we talk about your next project on Adore by Kanika. So, can you give a little sneak peek?
Um, Adore by Kanika, my business, has been in Canada, and now it's virtual because I live in India now. So it's an online platform where people can buy their love designers online. It's adorebykanika.com, and purchase accessories, clothing all over the world online. And the next thing that I'm working on is just being more collaborative and working with people that I love, and working with people that have the same alignment. That gives me a lot of joy and happiness, and also working on being an artist and working on my craft and the creative process, and just keep exploring. That's what the world is all about. So just
Okay,
doing that.
all the very best for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, and at last, any message you want to give to the young girls, especially the young females, and also the viewers?
Uh, the one message that I'd like to, or one reminder that I'd like to give our youth, especially the young generation and women and young boys and girls, is that, when you're young and when you're vulnerable and when you're impressionable, little things seem like big things, and you get tapped into that rut where you feel like, oh no, how do I exit? How do I get out of there? But just know that this is just the beginning of your life. There's so much. You're just at the brink of the iceberg. The world is your oyster. So you have the power, you have the resources, you have everything that you need to get out of it. So get out of it, tap out of it, and embrace adversity as much as you embrace joy and happiness, and make it a part of your resilience, make it a part of your journey, and walk with pride and walk with grace, because there's so much more that the world has to offer, as long as you are not tied down with your own limiting beliefs. So don't limit yourself, and open your heart, open your arms. The world has a lot to offer, and I wish you the best.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving such a fun and insightful session with us.
Thank
It
you.
was very inspirable for me, and I think for the viewers also, they're gonna learn a lot from you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
We will be back with another episode. Keep watching our talk show, Rubaroo.